Hello, my lovies. Welcome back to my podcast, Malo Talks. I hope you've had a wonderful week. We are now 2 weeks into the new year, and I feel like the second week can be a little hard on people. The first week, you're full of motivation. Most of the time, it's a short week because we get New Year's Day off. So we're not working, if you work a 9 to 5, we're not working those full 5 days. We get a little bit of a break. And then that second week kicks in, and now you're back in full work mode. And it can be a little bit overwhelming. And now you have a different perspective on the rest of the year. Your goals start to seem a little bit further away, and you can start to feel a little bit unmotivated. But think about it this way: if you do feel like you've had a hard week, there is always room for improvement, and we're not even 10% into the year yet. So many good things are to come. Just be patient. And even if you took a little break the second week in January, you can start next week, you can start next month. It's never too late. As you can tell by the title of the video, today's topic is real life vision boards. I love the concept of vision boards. I like to put into perspective what my goals are, what I see myself doing in the next couple of years. I like to have a physical, tangible image of what I see in my mind, to have a constant reminder, and so that it can start to feel a little bit more real once you begin to see it. Paper vision boards are great and I love them. They're a good reminder. But I also like to have what I call a real life vision board. I think there's a couple of ways to have a real life vision board, whether it's participating in the activities that you see your future self doing, or if you're not able to go to where you want to travel, you can start to research places so you can start to feel or get a better understanding of where you want to be. You can start to change habits in your daily lifestyle, or you can even do something as simple as following someone who truly inspires you on social media. Today's topic was actually inspired by Delara Gorahan. I hope I pronounced your name right. I am so sorry if I didn't. But I came across one of her videos last week on the resignation of Dr. Claudine Gay as the president of Harvard. And I can say she immediately grasped my attention. It was about a 10-minute long video, and I watched the entire thing without zoning out, without being confused, because of the way she delivered her message. She was so well spoken, she was so knowledgeable. I learned so much from that 10-minute video. I was inspired, I was motivated, and a piece of my adolescent self was healed. I think it's so important to have a role model or to have somebody that you look up to stay motivated and get an idea of a pathway that you can take, especially as undocumented students. Once I learned that she's also a DACA recipient, I felt more connected to her. And in that moment, I felt like everything that I want to do and all the goals I have are realistic and they will get achieved, because it's so hard to try to envision yourself in a place or doing something that you have never seen done in your immediate circle. When I was a senior in high school, and to put it into perspective, I was a senior in high school in 2018 when Donald Trump had just been elected to be president. TikTok wasn't even a thing yet. And while everybody was so excited to move on to the next phase in life and they were applying for college, they were getting accepted to college, they had a plan. They had a stable plan of what they were going to do for the next couple of years and how they were going to get there. I felt so confused, so alone. I was so scared because my situation was so different. Trump was putting out all these threats of taking DACA away. I was already facing the obstacle of not knowing how I was going to pay for college. As a DACA recipient, we don't get a lot of benefits for the simple fact that we weren't born here. I was born in Mexico. Yeah, I've been in this country since I was 2. I was raised here. I don't have a criminal record, but for the simple fact that I was not born here, we don't get things like financial aid so that the paying of college is a little bit easier for us. We're not able to take out student loans because we're not considered permanent residents. And although it is possible, they make it seem almost impossible for something that we can achieve. When it comes to financial aid, I definitely qualified for it when it comes to the financial requirements. I had just moved out. I moved out November of my senior year. I was making, I think, not even 20,000 a year, having to pay for all of my expenses while still being in high school. So the financial need was definitely there, but because of my legal status, I didn't qualify for it. I also didn't know what schools I would actually be able to get into, what schools I should be applying for. I was so confused. I felt so alone that year because unlike most of the people around me that were at my age, where they had a clear path, they had a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, I barely even had a plan A. I knew the destination of where I wanted to be at, but I had no idea of how I was going to get there. And the reason why I mentioned TikTok earlier was because I feel like that is such an a useful resource, regardless of all the negativity and the controversy that there is around TikTok. TikTok helps connect so many people that are in a similar situation. And when I found myself in those circumstances that year, I felt like nobody understood me and I had nobody that I could feel that truly connected to me or was able to help me. I had no one that I knew that I could look up to and feel like my goals and my dreams were achievable because I didn't know many other DACA recipients that had the same goals as me or that had already achieved those goals for me to know, oh, that is possible. They did it this way, so maybe I can follow in their footsteps. And TikTok has connected so many people in similar situations, and that is truly motivating and inspiring for some. I have found so many people on social media, on TikTok, that are also DACA recipients that have achieved and are doing amazing things, and that makes me so proud as a DACA recipient, and it keeps me motivated because now I have people that I can look up to, that I can see what they are doing and say, if they did it, I can do it. It's no longer just in my imagination or a hypothetical situation, because when I found Delara on social media, a piece of me from 2018 felt so much relief, so much peace, because I felt like I had finally found someone with similar interests and a similar legal background as me. She has a law degree, she's well spoken, she's so knowledgeable, she's so pretty. And I have aspired to be a lawyer as far back as I can remember. When I was a sophomore in high school, I had the honor of being accepted into a lawyer intern program where I learned so much. And most importantly, it was from there that I was able to start imagining all of these goals and these dreams that I would not have been able to think of without having that experience. As adolescents, I think that you can only be inspired to be as much as you know, which is why I think it's so important for teenagers to experience this glimpse of other possibilities of a different lifestyle to be able to get inspired. The attorney that I interned for, she was so big on wanting me to go everywhere with her. And I appreciate her so much for that. She's still my mentor to this day. And her reasoning behind wanting me to go everywhere with her was because she wanted me to see and experience and feel a lifestyle that could also be mine. There was one specific time where she took me to lunch with her to meet with her other attorney friends, and we were all sitting at the table and they were having a debate about something. And it was such an intense yet fun conversation. And I was so intrigued because everyone had such valid points. And I just felt so content. And I said to myself, this is where I belong. And from that day forward, I started to take note of the little things that the attorney that I interned for did that I could also do. I began to do small things like always being presentable, always having my hair done, dressing modest. You can dress modest and still be cute, still show your feminine energy, but still be perceived as a respectable young professional. And that has taken me a long way. Image is a big part of how you see yourself and how others see you. Being a young minority woman, people are automatically going to have a specific image of you before they even meet you. They're going to have a stereotype of you before they even give you a chance. And that's just reality. It's up to you and how you present yourself and how you continue to develop yourself as a professional and as a person in their eyes. Another part of my real life vision board is to start taking part in activities that I know my future self will be doing. For example, I want to be a lawyer. Lawyers read a lot and they have to read fast and they have to comprehend the literature quickly because time is money and your client's life is at stake. So, a hobby that I have picked up is reading books. My goal for this year is to at least read 24 books. When I am reading, sometimes I read out loud so I can practice my speech and my delivery. Other times, when I'm reading, my purpose in that session is to read quickly, so to see how many chapters I can get through and properly understand. Another part of my real life vision board is to ask myself, what would future you be doing on a Saturday morning? Would she be laying in bed hungover? Or would she be in a coffee shop doing research? Would she be out networking? And coffee shops are available to everybody. I don't have to wait until I'm an attorney to go sit and do some research at a coffee shop on a Saturday morning. That's something that I can do now that I know I will be doing when I have reached my dream goal. I feel like the places that you go to really help you feel like you are already in that moment that you want to be in. You know how some people refer to a past event as deja vu? I think that you can also help yourself feel a moment in the future. So you can start to affirm that reality for yourself. Some people refer to this as quantum jumping. Quantum jumping, by definition, is the concept in metaphysics that suggests that we can consciously shift our reality to a different version of ourselves in a different universe or in a different dimension. What quantum jumping to me is to put yourself in a position where you can call your higher self, your future self, to make that reality come to you faster. And I feel like the places that you attend is a good way of helping you feel that moment of your future self so that you can claim it and attract it. For example, when I was choosing the school that I wanted to go to, I ended up going to University of Baltimore because it is in the heart of the city. It is in downtown. It blends in with all the other corporate buildings, and I love that. Some people, when they're looking for schools, they're looking for something traditional with the big fields and the stadiums, and that's amazing. That's great. But those schools are often far away. And I wanted to feel like I was already working in one of those corporate buildings, and I was already in a professional setting every day that I attended school. So when I was in school every day. I came dressed in business casual clothes because I was well aware that coming out of my second class for the day, there was a possibility that I could meet someone important, and you always have to be prepared for networking. So that helped me envision and feel where I wanted to be on a day to day basis. The last part of my real life vision board is to surround yourself by people who inspire you. I know I talked about this in the first part of my video, but that was more so in a virtual sense. And I just want to emphasize that both virtually and in person, you need to surround yourself by people who inspire you. Surround yourself by people you want to be like. Some people inspire me to be nicer. Others inspire me to be more motivated. Others inspire me to be stronger. Others inspire me to reach a certain lifestyle. But I feel like everybody in my life I can learn from. For example, my sister, she inspires me in many, 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 many ways. She is so smart. She got a full for example, my sister, she, for example, my sister, she inspires me in many, 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 many ways. She is so smart. She got a full ride scholarship to Johns Hopkins University. She's determined. She's focused. She is the most organized person that I know, and she's an artist. She inspires me in both a professional and a creative setting. She has made some of the most beautiful portraits I've ever seen, and my parents have them all over their house. My mother is one of my biggest inspirations on a day to day basis. She inspires me to be more patient and nicer. She is one of the most patient and unbothered people that I know. She has never yelled at us, me or my siblings, and regardless of how frustrated she is, she just has a calm way of thinking of everything and processing her emotions. And she puts her full trust in the universe and in God's plan. And I aspire to be more like her, to be calmer. My father, he inspires me, and I know I don't tell him that much, but I'm actually going over there today, so I will try to have a conversation with him and tell him he inspires me, because I doubt that he actually watches my video. But anyway, point is that he is also a big inspiration in my life. He inspires me to be fearless and to be strong and to not be afraid to stand out. He is one of the most fearless people that I know. This man came to a whole new country by himself at the age of 17. He wasn't even a legal adult yet, to a country where he didn't even know the language, but yet he was determined to create a better future for not only his immediate family, but for his entire family. He was the first, and then my uncles and my grandparents and all the rest of us came over. But he set that seed, and I think that is something so inspirational, that regardless of all the obstacles and the possibilities and the fears that he probably thought of, he was determined and he made this happen, and I am so grateful for them. So I'll try to have that conversation with him today and tell him that, because I think that he needs to hear that. If nobody else has told him before, I want to be the person to, give him his flowers. Although he is a tough man, he's had to become tough. Life is tough, especially his life, and he has beaten so many obstacles. As always, I appreciate you guys for listening and supporting me. And I want you to comment and share with us, what are your ways of quantum jumping? What is on your real life vision board? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on the socials, my personal Yes That Mommy, my specific podcast socials, Milo Talks. We'll be back with another video next week. I don't know what the topic is yet, but I'm sure something will inspire me in the middle of the week. So, bye.